Hey Homo sapiens and Marbz, welcome back to another episode of... Why are you in here? Hey Homo sapiens and Marbz, welcome back to another episode of Saturdayz with Marbz. And today I am going to do a 80s makeup look today because we have done... No, I'm not doing an 80s, I'm doing a 90s. Oh my lord. So, today we're doing another 90s look because the last one was quite spectacular, and today I want to, you know, incorporate quite a lot of the characters in this look as well as just the colours and the theme and whatnot into this look. Now, when I decided that I wanted to do this look, I was more, I was very empowered basically. It also, you know, gave me some times where I cried because it does have a movie or two or three or four or five. But yeah, nonetheless, it's a great show and it's still going on now. It's still going on, thriving. It has got loads of computer games that I've never actually played because I'm not one of those people. And it's got loads of card games as well. I'm not too sure about this whole cap situation. Whatever. So, yeah, I look like a poodle, don't I? So, we are going to go we're going to go straight into the tutorial and start our look. We're going to start with our eyes today. We're not going to be starting with our skin. So as you can see, I've got two concealers on. I've got one white concealer on and then I've got the natural concealer that I normally wear. And the purposes of this is because I want the colours on the whiter concealer to, you know, pop, and the further I blend in to my brow, I want them to get darker. Now, I don't want to use black or anything or any darker shades. I just want to kind of use one shade and make that shade gradiate between the two concealers that I already have on my eyelids. Anyway, that's what we're doing now before we move on to our first shade of eyeshadow, which is a nice, it's kind of like a sea blue, and I believe it's from the James Charles palette, but I'm not even going to name shades today. I'm just going to show you colors. I'm just going to name colors that I'm using. So as you can see, I'm putting that blue on, and it's more turquoisey as the further it goes up into the darker portion of my concealers, and then you can kind of see the natural shade peeking through, but because I'm blending really heavily, I'm just making sure that, you know, it's nice and subtle. And then I am going to go in with a darker shade of blue to go into my crease, and then I'm going to cut my crease. As you can see, I'm putting that darker shade of blue in now, but I'm going in very lightly because I'm going to cut the crease. And this blue that I am putting onto my face is kind of the background color, so it's not the forefront of this whole makeup look. Going in with my favorite brush now. It's a spicy brush. Is it spicy? I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I'm just going to cut out my crease. Well, I'm not actually cutting out a crease, I'm cutting out a pattern. So I'm just going to create a semicircle on my eyelids, and then I will be filling those in later. Now going in with a very vibrant red, I'm just going to pack this on very gently. So I'm going to pack it in sections and build up that color real, just so it just looks real pigmented on the concealer that I've got. I mean, this is a pigmented red that I'm already using, but I just want to show the true red and the true emulation of the cartoon that I am trying to emulate today. So as you can see, I'm just working in sections very carefully, going around those edges, being very careful, tap tap tap, and just pressing that pigment into the white concealer underneath. Once I'm finished and happy with that, I am going to then go in with my favorite marker from NYX, cheeks, and then I'm going to sketch round the well, not the corners, I'm going to sketch round the perimeters of that. So as you can see here, I'm doing some detailing first. So I am going to create a square, and then I'm going to turn that square into a circle, and then I'm going to leave that middle part blank, because I'm going to fill that in with a different color or shade later on. I'm going to line my lower lash line with that, but this is also going to act as part of the look, as well as part of one of the objects of the cartoon, and you probably can guess what I'm doing already. If you can't, well, oh well, we'll continue in. Going to fill that white in now, and I'm gonna say now that I did have to fill that white in more than twice, just because the red pigment underneath did keep showing up and it went a little bit pink. Anyway, just finishing off this eye, and let me just say that I am not going to do the next eye because it's exactly the same but in white. Using a small packing brush, I'm now going to create a lightning bolt on my right corner of my face, of my eye, and I'm just going to carefully sketch out first this lightning bolt. I mean, I could have drawn it on beforehand, but that's not what I was thinking to do because I don't want too much work afterwards. But yeah, I'm just going to create that, sketch that out, and then I'm going to fill it in and make sure that it's really opaque. And then once I'm happy with that, we're going to go on to the next eye before we do some more detailing. So doing the same as I did on the other eye, I'm doing it in blue, but I'm creating a leafy kind of water shape mark on this eye, and I'm using a shimmery blue, so it's not a lightning bolt. Going into my foundation, and I am using foundation today, but not too much foundation. I'm actually I used the one pump of foundation to go all over my face because I just felt like, you know what, my skin it just needs to breathe lately, just from, you know, working and everything, and I just don't want to put too much makeup on my face. Well, foundation that is. Anyway, putting some concealer on, I'm going to let that, you know, rest on my face a little bit, and then I will blend that out, and I've blended it out already, just to save some time. And now I'm just going to sketch around this lightning bolt or tail that I have done. Have you guessed yet what show I'm emulating? No? Yes? You have? Oh, you haven't? Sound off in the comments below. So I'm just going to sketch round that shape that I've got there, or that blue shimmery shade I've got on my left eye with my favorite marker. And yes, I'm going to add a few little lines in it just to make it look like the water emoji or the cum emoji or whatever you want to call it, but yeah, whatever. And then I decided, well, I want this to look watery or like it's water, so therefore let me just go in with a, you know, angled brush, create some more marks there, and then I'll just outline those afterwards. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just placing those marks onto my face so that I can outline them afterwards. Yeah? Are you with me? Have you guessed it yet? No? Oh Jesus. Anyway, going in with a white eyeliner, I'm now going to create a long sparse line across my face, and these are going to act as branches around my or vines, should I say, around my right eye. So as you can see, I've left some space in between them because I want this vine to look like it's going in and out of my skin, but I'm using the white eyeliner to give that whole neon look. So going in with my first green, I'm just going to blend into my outer inner corner, and then I am going to blend two greens together just to give dimension and, you know, cartoonish realism to the look and not just a flat look. I want there to be a blend. So I'm not just going to be only using 2 shades of green, I am going to be using 3 shades of green, just because when I start doing the leaves, I'm going to use a darker shade of green mixed in with the first 2 that I've created for the vines, just to give it that little oomph, that little pow pow. And pow pow is, you know, something that I like to say, so I'm pow powing now. So I can't even remember if I said if I was going to outline the vines, but yes, I'm outlining the vines, but because my big ass forehead is in the way and, you know, I am not in the camera shot, I am outlining the vines, and I'm going to outline the leaves also before I go into some more detailing with these leaves, because I don't want to, I mean, although that looks nice, I want it to look like it's cartoonishly popping out of my skin. So going in with a brown, I'm just going to create semicircles, crescent-like motions onto my skin. And I'm using a brown that's close to my actual skin color, but obviously I've got foundation on, so it looks darker. And then I'm going to go on with a darker shade just to make that everything. You might be thinking I'm contradictory saying that this foundation is not my shade, but it's my shade when it completes the whole body. Anyway, I put some highlighter onto that just to make it look like it's a little lifted and everything. And I'm not adding any black into this, I'm just wanting browns because I want it to look natural, you know what I mean? So I feel like this look would not be complete if I didn't put some inner corner highlighter. So I am going to inner corner highlight, and on my left eye I'm going to slightly highlight. However, on my right eye I'm going to go in a bit more with the pigment just to make it look as if the vine is coming out of my eye rather than having the whole shadowing and everything, and just make it look like, oh wow, what is this going on? So going in with a navy blue lipstick, and it really does look black, I'm just going to put that on my top lip. My small top lip. Why can't my top lip be bigger? And I'm not going to inject it either because I don't believe in that. Well, I don't believe in that for me. I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going in with a NYX red lipstick, and I'm just going to place that onto my lips and then drag that onto the left side of my face because we are going to create some flames later. Anyway, once I am happy with the, you know, coverage, because this lipstick is a little on the dry side, I'm just going to take some red and then just to drag that into, you know, just a few millimeters into my lip, or halfway should I say, and I'm just going to continue to blend that red out into my left side of my face. And I'm also going to, once I've, you know, created a shape with that red, put some yellow, not yellow, some orange into it, and then I am going to place some yellow into it because we are, like I already probably said, are going to be creating some flames onto this side of the face. I just want it to look really burny, like not burny, I just want it to look hot, like chili pepper hot, flaming hot, volcanic hot. Anyway, going in with a black now, and I believe this is the color Spooky from the James Charles palette, and I'm just creating some dimension around my lip and just where the flames start. Then going in with my favorite marker from NYX, the super fat marker, I'm just going to, you know, sketch out flame-like motions onto my face, and I'm not even going around what I've done on my face. I'm just sketching out because I do want there to be, you know, the pigmentation of the shadows to bleed through underneath the liner that I've already placed onto my face. I don't want it to be perfect. I hate that whole perfect look. I like that whole vintage, that whole, you know, rough sketch of anything on people's faces. Anyway, going in with a no, this actually isn't a highlighter. It is it's one of those glittery shades. I think it's So Gold from the James Charles palette. I'm just going to line my top lip with that, and then once I've done that, I'm going to go into my bottom lip, give it a little, like, some juiciness, you know, some Kim Kardashian-ness, or whatever the other sister's name is called. And then I'm going back in with that same blue lipstick, and I'm just going to make sure that my lip is looking crisp. Go in with some highlighter on my nose with a mix of red onto the left side, just so that the left side looks burnt. So guys, that's how I got the look, and if you didn't guess already throughout the tutorial, and if you didn't guess right at the beginning when I was doing my eyes, well, guess what? I was inspired by
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was. To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. It's you and me, I know it's my destiny. Pokemon, oh, you're my best friend, in a world we must defend. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Our hearts so true, our courage will pull us through. You teach me and I'll teach you. Pokemon, gotta catch 'em all. Gotta catch 'em all. Pokemon.
Pokemon! Yes, I really enjoyed Pokemon when it first came out, and I remember, so Pokemon was very much an Asian thing, like a Oriental thing back in the day, when I was introduced to it anyway. And a lot of my Vietnamese friends and Chinese friends were just like, Pokemon, oh my gosh, how do you not know about Pokemon? And I was just like, I don't know, you know, like, whatever. And then I was introduced to it, and I loved it. I really just did love watching Pokemon. And I remember when the first film came out, and I watched that, and I cried at the end of that film. And yeah, that's really embarrassing to say, actually, but I cried at the end of the first Pokemon film. And also it's just like such a big, massive thing. I've never known a TV show, a cartoon, to go on for so long and still kind of like capture the souls of children. So clearly Pokemon are doing something. Who is Pokemon done by? I can't remember. But yeah, they're clearly doing something, because children now, today in 2020, are still watching Pokemon and still using, you know, those cards and still playing the games. Adults my age, older than me, much older than me, are still playing Pokemon, still watching Pokemon, and it's just a thing, you know. You know, I had to do Pokemon in this series. If I didn't do Pokemon in this series, then, well, yeah, I would have had to question myself about that one. Why does my eye look wonky? I don't know. Anyway, so this is that, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial, and I'll see you again. And I'll see you again in the next episode, in the next season, I'll see you next Saturday, okay? And don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Next week on Saturday with Marbz, you already have the power and the honor to become a princess. Rogue Marby Scott.